Let's go on a Monday. Stadium Pulse on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, presented by Nimnik Buick GMC and Southside Baseball Association, Youth Champions. What a wild Monday we got. College football talk for the next hour. Hey, we are not on Twitter right now. It's kind of, it knows that today's going to be a big day. Billy Napier's gone. Mike Norvell might be gone. So it's crashing on us, but we are live on YouTube. So check us out there. Just head on over there, and maybe we get Twitter back up and rolling. We know a large majority of y'all watch on there. But maybe we get that rolling, maybe we don't, but we're going to keep going anyway because we've got a lot to get to here on a Monday. Stadium Pulse, if you're watching for the first time, Mondays and Fridays, every Monday, every Friday, 9 to 10 a.m., we cover 5 schools: Florida State, UCF, Georgia, and Miami. And there's a lot to talk about with every school, but obviously we're going to start in Gainesville, checking the pulse in the swamp. The Gators fire Billy Napier. We'll have that. We'll have Mike Norvell, news and notes after Florida State. What a disaster it is right now. We're going to throw up the scoreboard for you. This is everything we've got today. And then obviously Georgia, huge win over Ole Miss. Gunnar Stockton, he put on a clinic. Louisville, 24-21 over Miami. And I eat crow on Miami, even though I've always thought they would be exposed. But this early, didn't think it would happen. And then UCF gets a 45-13 win over West Virginia. Zach will have his time to shine in defense of his own football program very shortly. You can best believe that. But before we get into any of that, Billy Napier is out as the head football coach at Florida. I don't think anybody is surprised. Okay, nobody is surprised at all. Guys, that was the loudest I have ever heard a stadium call for a head coach's head during a football game. It was unbelievable. Multiple points in that game. You can hear "Fire Billy" chants in the swamp louder than... That was the loudest they were in that football game. Louder than they were on any touchdown. Fire Billy. And I think we'd be foolish not to think that forced Strickland's hand. The outcry of the fan base to get this guy out, to start over. It had to have forced Strickland's hand because you fired him after a win. Now, isn't it ironic, to point out the obvious, isn't it fitting that he showed you why the chief reason you want him out, he showed even in a win? I mean, he and Levy tried to trade the football game away. DJ Lagway play-action rollout on 3rd and 1 when your best player is just sitting there in the backfield. And you tried to hand the football game to Mississippi State. But holy cow, they wanted to give it right back to you. Jeff Levy says, "You know what, Billy? I feel bad for you. I'm gonna send you. I know you're gone. You know you're gone. Everybody knows you're gone. I'm gonna send you out with a win in the swamp." Throwing the football in field goal range, ridiculous. Isn't it ironic? Billy's last offensive play call was the entire reason the Gators fan base wanted him out. He sure left his mark. But the boos, man, and the calls for his firing, I think that's absolutely forcing Scott Strickland's hand. And look, I said on the show last Friday that, I thought he would get the Georgia game. Winner, even if he won. If he lost, it's a different story. If he lost to Mississippi State, I thought he was gone. But if he won, no matter what, I thought he was going to get the Georgia game because I think that Florida's best shot to beat Georgia is to have Billy Napier at the helm. It's for every reason that we've seen an outpouring of support for Billy in the last less than 24 hours since his firing. Everybody kind of saying the same thing in two different ways. One, yeah, they're glad they're fired. He's fired. and it's a new start, a new day for Florida football. But at the same time, they love the guy. They love the person, right? And his players loved him, and his players played for him. And I think you saw that in each and every game this season, no matter if they were outmatched, no matter how bad their quarterback was playing, it didn't matter. No matter how bad the season was going, how bad they were failing expectations, Billy was going to rally the troops, and at the very minimum was going to get the defense playing lights out. And, of course, a lot of credit to the defensive coordinator as well. It's not Billy's side of the football. But the locker room rallied around Billy in each and every game, and I think that's what it would have taken. There was a shot to beat Georgia with that mentality if that was the case. Now it's not. And everybody seems to love the interim guy, the wide receiver coach, and that's all good and fine. But I think that was your one and only shot to pull an upset, to beat Georgia, and maybe the fan base doesn't care about that right now. And I guess I wouldn't blame them. They care way more about the future of their program than this one game against Georgia. But, I mean, you very well just could have beat Georgia and just still fired him. I mean, when he lost 3 more games in the regular season after that. You very well could have fired him, because here's the deal. Yes, you fired him. It's a win for Florida football. Yesterday at 1:30 or whatever it was, all of Gator Nation rejoiced. Got it. Okay, now what? There's going to be a ton of conversation, and we're going to talk about it all the time. But this is going to be pretty frustrating for the Gators fan base, because it's going to take a lot of patience. You're not getting the notification saying that your head coach has been hired for probably 3 months. Like, this is very end of December, early January, obviously depending on who you get. But this could very well be a close to 3-month thing, a process where there is no satisfaction. If there's, sure, maybe there's a little satisfaction that Billy's gone, but you're going to be losing a lot of football games, and the name that's supposed to change your program around, you're going to have to wait a long time. So is there necessarily advantage to firing Billy now? I mean, other than just to appease your fan base with the boos and the calls for him. That's really it. It's really the only advantage. Because other than that, there's no advantage to firing him at this point. And at the end of the day, they've got to obviously put all of their effort into finding their next head football coach. And I mean, before I get to who that will probably be, or who they would want it to be, or who the fan base would want it to be, let me ask this question. Let me answer this question, because I'm hearing this statement a lot. Billy Napier is leaving the program in a great place. That's what I'm hearing. Across the board, pretty much. Billy Napier is leaving the program in a great spot, from a talent aspect, from a culture aspect. Now, I do think that Florida is in good shape from a culture aspect. I would never argue that. I think Billy's a phenomenal guy in that regard, and a great culture builder and all those things. He's a phenomenal coach from Sunday to Monday, or to Sunday to Friday. Outside of Saturday, I think Billy Napier's an unbelievable head coach. But obviously he's just getting fired because of what's happening during the game. Situational play calling and all that stuff. We know that. But I would just say there's no way you can say that Florida's program right now has been left in good shape by Billy Napier. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying you can't say that. You have no idea in this age whether he's leaving the program in a good spot or not. From a talent aspect, you don't know. You have no idea. You know how good DJ Lagway is? No, you don't. I don't either. And obviously, I mean, this firing kind of comes at the perfect time for Florida and every school that is firing their head coach this year, because the NCAA, if you missed it, just like last week, they decided, hey, if your head football coach gets fired, nobody can leave yet. No players can get into the portal. They have to wait for 5 days after the new coach has been named. That new coach, whoever it is, will have 5 days to try to almost control the locker room, convince these guys not to go into the portal, to stay at Florida, and not leave. So pretty much what we've got here is these players are going to have to make a decision. Right, and it's going to be completely based on whoever the next head coach is, whether he brings juice, whether he's exciting, whether he's offensive or defensive, or all of those things. And maybe they stay, maybe they don't. Right? Obviously, I think you want you pray your wide receiver weapons stay because they're great, and you pray your defense stays. But other than that, I don't know how many guys would stay. So you can't leave until 5 days after your head football coach is fired. And every Gator fan that I know wants that new head coach to be Lane Kiffin. Okay? Every single one Gator fan I know wants Lane Kiffin to be the next head football coach of Florida. They believe that he's going to be the guy to, take them to the promised land. To beat Georgia year in and year out, to take them to the playoff, all that good stuff. Because he's doing that at Ole Miss. He's doing it at Ole Miss. But I've just got a couple questions. And here are your 4 guys. All right, here are your 4 guys that everybody in the Florida fan base is talking about. Obviously, Lane's at the top. I think it's Kiffin or bust. I'll explain that in a minute. I mean, the fact that I've never seen a fan base rally behind one guy before their head coach was even fired more than I've seen the Gator fan base crave Lane Kiffin. Eli Drinkwitz should be in this conversation, right? Brom, Louisville should be in this conversation, and then Clark Lee should be in this conversation. Florida's got to hire a established Power 4 head football coach. They cannot go out to the G5 again. That was a disaster. Sunbelt Billy, all of that stuff. Strickland tries to find the diamond in the rough instead of the established guy because he's taking the risk thinking he wants the up-and-comer. Yes, Billy Napier was with Alabama. He was with Saban. He was with Sweeney. But at the end of the day, he was not an established head coach, and it was a risk. It was a diamond in the rough type find. It was the same thing he did with Todd Golden, and he hit a home run with there. Couldn't have gone any better. But with Billy Napier, it just didn't work because he didn't have you want a guy who's got a good grasp of the SEC. Maybe Billy should have had more of that, but it just didn't work, right? And obviously, Lane, it would be your home run hire. Will he come? Can they convince him to come? How much more money can they give him? Ole Miss's AD last week says they're trying to offer him a contract extension similar to what Kurt Cignetti just signed at Indiana. So Ole Miss is going to do whatever they can to hire Lane Kiffin because they know that there is no better than Lane for Ole Miss right now. There is nothing better. There is no better option. That Lane has them to an area, a level in college football that perhaps they've never been in decades, right? And here's why: because Lane has complete and total control over Ole Miss's football program. He pretty much has the entire university in the palm of his hand. Will Strickland be able to give that up? Will Strickland be willing to hand him the keys to not only the football program, but pretty much the entire campus? I don't know, because that's what it will take to get Lane. Now, Eli Drinkwitz, obviously, a couple years of success at Missouri. I could go on for 30 minutes about the end of the Auburn-Missouri game because how bad that was coached on both sides. Worse from Hugh Freeze than by Eli Drinkwitz, but still very, very poor, not giving the ball to Ahmad Hardy Bo Priebus putting the ball at risk, and you almost lost the football game, and you should have lost the football game, and then you're running onto the field thinking the field goal's good when it was never good. Stay hot, Elijah. Brom deserves a lot of credit. He's under the radar guy. I mean, that's a guy who probably half your fan base, the Gators fan base, doesn't know until right now. They've probably never heard his name until the last couple of days when his name's been coming up, and obviously that's helped a ton by beating Miami on Friday night. But he's a guy who's at his alma mater. Would he want to leave? Would he want to leave? Guys, you can't know that. You have no idea. I think guys should be. I mean, it totally depends on the person. Clark Lee, same situation, at his alma mater. He's doing something really, really, really special to him personally and to a lot of people in that fan base at Vanderbilt. He's made him relevant for the first time pretty much ever. Is he going to be up and quick to leave? Now, somebody who just wants to get to the pinnacle, wants to win a national championship, wants to be the best of the best, wants to earn the money, $12 million a year, yeah, he'll leave. But if it's up to, hey, I'm content with, I don't know what he's making, let me guess, 7. I'm content with that and knowing that I'm taking my alma mater to a place that no other person in this world has ever been able to take it, and I want to do big things right here in Nashville. There's not a number. If that's his mindset, if that's Brom's mindset at Louisville, I want to win an ACC championship, there's not a dollar amount that Florida could give him to sway them away from that. But everybody's got a price. Everybody's got a price. So those are the top 4 guys, I think. It's got to be a guy in the Power 4 who's established, who's winning. Connor in the chat says huge Clark Lee guy. I don't think he'll leave Vandy, though. I think it's a great question. I'd love to know what he's thinking just about now. He says Lane and Gruden, only 2 options in my opinion. You have more options. But here's why I think it's Kiffin or bust almost. It's Kiffin or bust for the people who are expecting whoever this is to win a national championship in the next 5 years. If you're one of those people who are anybody's better than Billy, yeah, you're good. You're going to be easily satisfied. Because, again, it's anybody but Billy. But if you're one of those people who's, you're expecting 9-3 in the first year or 2, it's going to be Lane or bust. Because here's the other option that Strickland could do. This is not out of the realm of possibility. He could say, all right, Lane's not worth it from a control aspect. Okay, I'm going to try, Billy might not have been the right guy for this situation, but that doesn't mean that I don't want another up-and-comer. As I said last week, Billy was not near the top of any fan's wish list when he was hired. Wasn't even close. The fan base didn't know who he was 1 week before he was hired. Most of them. 6 months before Billy Napier became the head coach at Florida, how many people knew who he was? Not many. Not many. He was not on your wish list because you didn't know the name and you didn't want somebody out of the G5. Okay? Strickland decided he wanted the diamond in the rough guy, the up-and-comer. What if he decides to do that again? Again, if you're Napier, or if you're anybody that's better than Napier, then sure, you're probably going to be good with it. If not, then you're going to be pissed. You might be pissed. You're taking Vandy's seconds. You're taking Missouri's seconds. And those are 2 good programs right now. Can't argue with that. They've been much better than Florida has been in the last couple of years. I don't know where you want to go, but again, I have never seen the craving for a head football coach, somebody else's head coach, one single guy. It has been all united around Lane before your head coach was even fired.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
And this isn't every Florida fan, but it is most of them. They have, what doesn't make sense to me is all year they've called for Billy's head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. That much I understand as a struggling fan myself. They say that the culture sucks at Florida.
Who says that?
A few of the Florida fans that I've interacted with personally.
Really?
Excuse me. The culture within the team sucks at Florida. Billy can't coach, can't win the big games,
Of course.
et cetera, et cetera. Well, he wins at home. I don't know by a miracle, but wins at home.
Yes.
They fire him, and then they go, he left the program at a good place.
Well, I think they're just saying from a talent aspect, they have talent. They have got a lot of talent. Their secondary, without guys all year long, has stepped up and played really good football. Their D-line, with guys out injured, has played really well and played really good football. Their weapons on the outside between Vernell, Dallas, even Mizell, I think, is a good football player. They've got guys. But at the same time, all of this is really dependent on what you think about DJ Lagway going forward.
So, I mean, okay. That was going to be my next question, was where does Lagway fit in, or where does Lagway settle in all of this? I got a question, my last question about Florida for you.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not one of the 4 guys you mentioned, who is it? Sorry, let me rephrase that, because that's kind of a complicated question, because it could be anyone in the group of 5, I guess. But if it's not one of those 4 guys, what should Florida fans' expectations be going into next season?
I mean, I don't think it should be all that great no matter who it is, because I got news for you. If Lane Kiffin is the next head football coach of Florida, I don't think DJ Lagway is your quarterback. Lane Kiffin's going to say, I can bring whoever. I'm going to bring Trinidad Chambliss over. He's better. I'm going to bring Austin Simmons over. He's better too. I can bring 10 guys out of the portal that I want that right now are probably better than DJ Lagway. That's what Lane's going to think. DJ Lagway will not be the quarterback at Florida next year if Lane Kiffin is your head football coach. He won't do it. You don't want him. I don't think he wants him.
Okay.
I mean, look, I
don't disagree.
I could be wrong. I mean, there's still talent in DJ Lagway, but I don't think he's still a project. I think that's what we've learned above all else in the first 6-7 games of this season, is that he's got a lot to learn. He's still struggling mightily to read the field. He's got all the arm talent in the world. But, I mean, what do your eyes tell you? What do the eyes tell you? After the first month of the season, I mean, we called for it all offseason. All offseason, we said, this guy's going to be pretty bad in at least the first month of the season because he hasn't practiced in a year. We said it all offseason. What happened? That exact thing happened.
True.
He looked like a varsity high school quarterback.
Yes.
He couldn't see the field for anything. That's why I blamed him. I think he was the reason you lost all those football games in the first month of the season, not Billy Napier. I've said it once. I've said it a million times. Billy Napier was drawing up winners for the offense, and for DJ Lagway just looking him right in the face or not seeing him, or looking him right in the face and throwing bad balls. Off platform, feet's not in the right spot, eyes not in the right spot. It was a disaster. DJ Lagway lost you more football games this year than Billy Napier has. There's no doubt in my mind. Lane Kiffin's not going to want DJ Lagway. So in those 5 days, say Lane's hired in early January because Ole Miss makes the playoff. Well, he's got 5 days to see which guys he wants. He's going to want Vernell. He's going to want Dallas. He's going to want all the weapons. I would not be surprised in the slightest if he says, hey, DJ, sorry, buddy, don't want you. Go find another place to play. I'm bringing Trinidad over. I'm bringing Austin Simmons over. I'm bringing 10 there's 10 other guys that aren't on Ole Miss that he'll probably say, yeah, I can bring this guy over, and he'll have more success than DJ Lagway right away. I want to start fresh, at least at the quarterback position. Would not be surprised at all because, look, the portal opens obviously mid-January. And I said earlier that this is going to take a long, patient process for the Florida fan base because they're not going to want to wait. You're going to have to wait. It's going to be 3 months. So your problem isn't if Ole Miss makes the playoff. Your problem is if they go on a run in the playoff. Because if they make the playoff just in general, then you're looking at the first week of January, right? They lose their first game, they're out, you hire Lane, you've got 5 days, then the portal opens. If they make a run, they go to the semi, then the portal's going to open and they're still going to be in it. And Florida, you're not going to have a head football coach. And then it's going to be open season. It'll be open season, and it's not just as it's half of it is all the guys that are going to leave. The other half of it is all the guys that aren't going to come because the portal's open. It's a free-for-all, and spots are being taken. If every single player that could hit the portal, if they could be on a new team on the very first day it's open, they would. They want a spot guaranteed. They don't want to wait for spots to be open to close up. They want NIL money off the rip. And if you don't have a head football coach when the portal opens, you're screwed. Not just for the next year, not just for 2026. You're screwed for 2027. So get ready for a patient ride. I think if you're Florida, you root big time for Ole Miss to lose another game or two and to miss the playoff. Or at least to make the playoff and lose their first game. You don't want them winning at all. Don't want them winning. What a cycle this is going to be. We're going to take a break in a second. But already just in the SEC, Napier's obviously gone. Pittman's gone. Beamer's on the hot seat. South Carolina can't beat anybody. Can't beat anybody. Hugh Freeze is on the hot seat. I told you last week on this show, I said, look, don't take my betting advice, but I've got two teams that are locks this weekend. And I said it's Vandy at home and it's Auburn at home. Well, Vandy hit easily because Brian Kelly's a dunce and Garrett Nussmeier's no good. LSU, they might go 7-5. It's possible. They've still got at Bama hosting at Bama hosting A&M and at Oklahoma last week of the season when Mateer's probably going to be fully healthy. They might be 8-5. Is the LSU going to be open? Is the Auburn job going to be open? Because hey, look, Lane Kiffin's passed on Auburn before. Well, what if LSU's open? Is LSU a better job than Florida? Yes. Yes, it is. Does he have some more ties in Gainesville than he does in Baton Rouge? Yes. Does that even it out? I don't know. But this cycle is going to be insane. We might have 5 openings in the SEC alone. I think we're up on Action Sports Jack's Twitter, so that's a great thing. Appreciate the guys helping out with that. So catch us there. You can also catch us on YouTube as well, Facebook, on the Action News Jacks app, actionsportsjacks.com as well. We're going to take a quick break. Stadium Pulse presented by Nimnik Buick GMC and Youth Champions. 9 to 10 a.m. every Monday, every Friday. A lot of FSU talk coming up. Mike Norvell, is today the day? Could he be fired today? We'll talk about it. Georgia dominates the fourth quarter and beats Ole Miss. A little UCF talk and Miami talk as well. We'll be right back on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnik, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnikBuickGMC.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnik, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnik Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnik has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. And most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnik. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnik. GMC. We are professional grade.
Putting your needs first. It's the backbone of how First Florida Credit Union does business. In all honesty, you might as well be speaking another language when it comes to finances. Sure, I'm good with my money, but what am I missing in the fine print? That's what led me to First Florida Credit Union. They're the perfect choice for anyone starting their financial journey because they keep finances easy. Plus, they offer financial education and resources I can trust. So I'm always growing more confident. And as a young adult, I am constantly adding more responsibilities to my plate. From a car payment to a mortgage, it all adds up. Luckily, First Florida Credit Union makes sure it adds up in all the right places and not the wrong ones by offering better rates and lower fees than traditional banks, even if you're still trying to grow your credit. Because as a member-owned institution, First Florida genuinely puts people's needs first rather than focusing on profit. So I know as my needs change, they'll be right there to help me reach my goals. Check out firstflorida.org to learn how you can benefit too.
It's one of the hot spots in the area.
Welcome you to String Sports Brewery out at the beach. Big crowd on hand tonight. The fans are here.
And now, the newest hot spot at the beach is open. String Sports Brewery in Jax Beach has opened its doors with rave reviews.
We're going to be fans forever.
Cozy up to the bar, grab a seat in the sports-themed restaurant, or grab a seat outside and feel that breeze coming off the beach as the weather warms. Just like the original location in Springfield, try the popular beer menu and come for lunch or dinner too, because the food is fantastic.
We got a special guest in the house. He's happy. He's feeling good. He's Trayvon Walker.
It's where we hosted Jags Report Live in the football season, and the String Sports Brewery staff can't wait to host you. Hey, welcome back here to String Sports Brewery. And if you haven't checked out the new location in Jax Beach, you got to do it. String Sports Brewery, now with 2 locations in Springfield and now open in Jax Beach on Penman Road.
Hi, I'm Greg Mackey from Cycles of Jacksonville. Whether you're looking for a side-by-side, ATV, motorcycle, or scooter, Honda has what you need.
The Honda Talon. Ultimate performance meets family-friendly fun. Prices starting at $363 a month. Or the sporty Honda CBR 650 starting at an affordable $204 a month.
Stop by and choose your adventure from a full line of Honda products. Only at Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic Boulevard. Family owned and operated since 1983.
Hello, I'm Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Since 2003, our firm has fought exclusively for the rights of men in family law. Divorce, modification of child support, alimony, custody, and more, all for men. A father is vitally important to a child's life, and being a man is not a reason to pay more in child support or alimony. I'm a single father. I get it. If you have a divorce or other family law issue, contact Kenny Lay & Associates at divorcemenonly.com.
CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing is taking their 75-plus years of expertise and expanding to CGC Home Services. Water treatment and plumbing is still a big part of what they do, and now they can do even more for you. Home services like kitchen and bathroom remodeling, showers, sinks, faucets, toilet repair, backflow testing, and the list keeps going. Find all they can do at cgchomeservices.com or give them a call, 904-298-7052. It's a new look and a new name with the same expertise. They've been serving homes like yours since 1946. CGC Home Services, right here in Jacksonville off St. John's Bluff Road, 904-298-7052. And visit cgchomeservices.com. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Sports Jax 24/7 network, Stadium Pulse, every Monday and Friday. All right, let's get right into it, guys. Let's get right into it because, Zach, come on. Just come on over, buddy. Just come on over. Okay, look, one thing I'm always clear about. You are not a spokesperson for your program.
Correct.
You don't have to sit up here and defend them.
Correct.
You're not on the team.
Nope.
At the same time, what in the world is happening? Hey, before you go, let me just give the details for everybody who was smart with their Saturday night, potentially put their family first, potentially put their rest at first, potentially made everything else a priority and chose not to watch 2 real bad football teams go to battle at 10:30 on the West Coast. Because that was one of the worst football games I have ever seen.
Point blank.
Just bad.
Point blank.
JV football game out there against the Stanford Cardinal. Both teams. Guys, you lost to a backup quarterback. It's not just that it was Stanford.
Yep.
It's Stanford. They just beat San Jose State by 1 at home 2 weeks ago. San Jose State Florida State.
A little lower.
And then they played a backup quarterback against you, and you still couldn't win.
Correct. That is a true statement.
And for the first time all season, your defense, because it was a backup quarterback, hey, don't pat yourself on the back, defense. You didn't really do a whole lot. You're playing a backup quarterback, and even if they play the starter, he's probably the 80th best quarterback in college football. And then they play the backup. He's probably the 170th best quarterback in college football. You couldn't beat him. But you only give up 20 points, and you're patting yourself on the back. Finally, it wasn't the defense. No, this time it was the offense. And 4 3-and-outs. 4 3-and-outs. And that wasn't even just all the punts. He punted the football more than that, but that was just the 3-and-outs I'm counting. And you probably had half of the yardage that you had in the football game on the final drive. You guys suck.
Yes, we do. Jason, let me walk you through the last 18 months, close to 24, we'll call it 20 months, as a Florida State fan. You capped off a 13-0 season. Mm-hmm. You just beat Florida with your backup quarterback. Mm-hmm. You're expecting playoff hopes. Playoff berth is what you're expecting in the last year of the 14 playoff. You get left out because your quarterback gets injured. Probably a great assessment for the college football committee. Mm. All right? Then you bring in DJ Ukulele. He comes in. The linebacker doesn't do squat. You go 2-10. Mm-hmm. Oh, hold on. It gets better. Then you bring in a benched quarterback from Boston College who's got a lot of hopes. He didn't get along with Bill O'Brien's play scheme. He comes in. You bring in Gus Malzahn, who recruited him, who his perfect ideal quarterback is Nick Marshall, Cam Newton, and Thomas Castellanos.
It works.
Okay. You play Alabama, and maybe not on paper, but if anyone who has 2 eyes and ears watch the game and listen to Joe Tess, you smoked them. Mm-hmm. You suffocated them. They couldn't breathe. Then you beat 2 trash teams the way that a top 10 football team should beat 2 trash teams, rather convincingly, with your starters only playing 2 quarters in 2 out of 8 quarters. And then the UCLA coach gets fired, and the former UCLA hopeful starts throwing the game defensively, Tony White. Then Gus Malzahn goes, yeah, I don't feel like coaching anymore. So he wears the freaking polo, sits on the bench, and just jib-jabs all day. I don't even think he makes play calls. I think he just sits there and starts hanging out. I'm going to go get him the Robbie Dollars playbook out of the trunk of my car is what I'm going to get. Because that would be better than anything we've watched. Then we go to Stanford. Forget the Miami game. Mm-hmm. Forget the Pitt game. The fact that we lost to the offensive coordinator who, you know where he played college football? JU. The JU quarterback out-coached Tony White, who just stopped Alabama.
Just so everybody remembers. And doesn't forget, this guy that's speaking,
yes, right,
he's single-handedly responsible for canceling JU's entire football program.
And that quarterback just out-coached Florida State football. Mm-hmm. Then we go to Stanford.
Yes, you did.
Minus 1195 odds, money line. You know what we do? Take a freaking dump on the sideline. What are we doing? I mean, Jason, this might be the funniest team in college football.
Y'all are so bad.
So here's some betting advice. Although I'm not, please don't listen to me, but if you want to have fun, do it. Mm-hmm. Watch Florida State and pretend that Tom Segura is walking out there. Okay. Because you're going to laugh. And then what you do is you place $5 on the other team because for some insane reason, ESPN in Vegas is still going to favor us. Now you win money and you laugh. It's the most incredible life hack that you'll ever hear. Here's what we do. You ready? Mm-hmm. I genuinely think today could be the day Norvell gets fired. Mm-hmm. I strongly believe that he will not make it to the end of the week.
Right.
Okay. Then here's what we're going to do. Against my preference, although I have like a million of them.
Sure.
We're going to hire Jimbo Fisher again. Because Jimbo Fisher, besides Bobby Bowden, is the only coach to be at Florida State for longer than 8 seasons. Mm-hmm. And he only had 1 season under 9 wins.
Yep.
And of those 8 seasons, 6 were 11-win seasons. 1 national championship, 1 playoff appearance. We got smoked by Marcus Mariota. And several big, what would be now 12-team playoff bowl game appearances.
Sure.
Okay, so he knows how to coach at Florida State. The other thing Jimbo Fisher knows how to do is he knows how to recruit. I'm putting on my best Florida fan impression because I've lost all hope. I'm looking forward to the next guy before our guy's even gone. Mm-hmm. And I can't blame him for that. And I can't I don't know what to do, but let me tell you this. This is the only fact that's going to come out of this. The only set in stone fact about a head coach that's going to happen. If Florida State decides, you know what? Norvell's not working. Let's hire his old head coach. And we promote Malzahn. I'm taking all of my clothes on video. I'm burning them. And then I'm going to take my credit card. And I'm going to Dick's Sporting Goods. And I'm spending $1,000 on Georgia gear. And I denounce any part of my past of being a Florida State fan ever. And I will sing. I'll play that DSRA song I played last week over and over and over again until I start bleeding.
It's called repentance, actually.
And that is what's going to happen. If we make him the interim head coach, I'm not even talking about Florida State on the show again. Every time we bring up Florida State, I'm going to sit here in silence. Or I'm going to block out the screen and put a picture of Cam Scatabo in the chat and say, which one's a picture of me, which one's a picture of Scat.
They would do that. Who is your AD?
I seriously don't even know who it is. I legitimately do not know who our AD is.
Look that up for me real quick. Strickland's gotten so much publicity over the last couple of years that it's impossible not to know who he is.
Michael Alford.
Michael Alford. Whoever you are. Mike Norvell has to be fired today.
Thank you.
For the next 4 hours. You've got 4 hours to fire this guy. You have got to follow suit with what Strickland just did to Billy Escapier over there in Gainesville. You've got to fire him by 2 p.m. today. Mike Norvell's got to be fired. I know the buyout's way bigger than Napier. I get it. I know you want to get out of the ACC more than anything, and y'all have been trying to save dollars. It's got to happen. If you promote Gus Malzahn to be your interim, the entire Seminoles fan base should just boycott. Don't show up. That is the worst. I mean, he just failed at UCF. Now he's going to be your interim? No, he's gone to get him out. Get him out. You hire Jimbo Fisher. As bad as it was when he left, you've got to find a way to get somebody in there who actually has a decent idea of how to recruit talented players. Look, you're going to have to give the keys to Jimbo. Full control over the entire campus, not just the football program, has to be given to him, handed over to him. You've got to hand him a ton of money again and lick your wounds after he left you on the curb last time. But he knows talent. He'll spin out the wazoo, and he'll make you relevant again.
Mike Norvell, we just had this conversation, Jason. Mike Norvell will spend money, but not on the right guys. Jimbo will. How do you know? He hasn't coached in the NIL era at Florida State, correct? Because when there was an NIL era, he still spent insane amounts of money on guys. It's half the reason the recruiting mess was so bad. Then we get the freaking doctor, Willie Taggart, to fix the program. He leaves us in shambles. Then we get Norvell. The buyout, the estimated buyout. I think I heard this on Josh Pate. You ready?
Well, I mean, for the whole staff, I seen it was like $100 million.
For the whole staff plus a new staff, it's $100 million.
Yeah.
And I mean, but dude, if you're a Florida State fan, like
I think Norvell alone is 55.
He's 56. Yeah. He's $56 million. So what? Like as a Florida State fan, or not Florida State, if you're Florida State, freaking Mikey A, you got to get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
You got to take him, give him his money.
Mm-hmm. Good riddance.
And throw him away.
Good riddance, buddy.
And he can go coach right next to Billy Napier when they have the big rivalry game of the week in the Sun Belt Conference. You got to be kidding me. I do wish they did this one thing. How do FSU fans feel about Dion coaching FSU? That's Connor in the chat. I don't like it. Dude, the guy's health is garbage, and he cannot win a game at Colorado.
Yeah, I feel bad for him, first of all.
I genuinely, when I see Dion, I'm like, wow, that's really sad, because you know who he used to be. But let me back up here, Jason. What was I talking about? I'm so angry. I wish they did this. It would be hilarious, but it would also probably be like insanely illegal for numerous other reasons. I wish that this week, going into this week, Florida State and Florida just swapped head coaches for a week, just for kicks and gigs, just to see what happens. Because knowing how delusional both fan bases are, we'd see the most minor successes, think that they forego the other ones, and we're like, all right, hire Billy. And they'd be like, all right, hire Norvell. And the next thing you know, both teams are in the crap box again. So that's probably what the fallout would be because of that. But goodness, you can't tell me that wouldn't be hilarious.
I mean, look, you 3 weeks ago, you proposed an I Quit match pretty much on the last week of the regular season between Florida State and Florida. Whoever wins that football game in the rivalry, whoever wins keeps their job. Whoever loses has to take their shirt off, has to take all of their gear off, lay it on the field like a boxer putting his gloves down on the ring and say, I quit, and hold up a sign as they walk off the stadium saying, I'm done. I'm fired. You proposed it. I would have loved it. I think that might have been the most watched college football game this year, but we're not going to get it anymore.
I've got a great idea.
Yes.
We can't get it anymore, but what if we did this? What if we made it a wagered, like an actual wagered match, where the winner of that game, so every game the rest of the season's done. You get 6 bye weeks now, okay? You have six weeks to prepare for Florida State in the swamp. We'll do it in the swamp. The winner gets Lane Kiffin. That's how that game goes. Let's do that. The loser goes coach ULM in Louisiana.
By the way, Billy Napier will, I believe, have a job in 2026 as a head coach somewhere.
100%.
He might go the wide receiver coach route at a Georgia or something like that. But I would not be surprised at all if he's the head coach at Virginia Tech in 2026. I mean, shoot, bro, UNC should hire him because after Bill B and the fighting Jordan Hudson's, what a disaster that is. That's a culture thing. That's not on the field. That's Bill B has ripped any culture. I mean, they never had it to begin with. From day one of Bill B, they never had it, and they certainly don't have it now. You're going to have to get, first of all, before you can win, you're going to have to get your program back as far as guys that actually want to be there. What does the UNC football actually look like? I don't know, but it's not what Bill B. Like, they should hire Billy. They should hire the ultra character, good dude, build a program type guy, and they'd win in the ACC. Now, I mean, they wouldn't win anything, but they'd win a couple games. They'd win more than what Bill B's doing. I don't even know if we're going to get to Georgia today. I mean, I could talk on it for 30 minutes. Gunnar Stockton, what he did, and I think he's proven that he's a top 10 quarterback, and I think we kind of knew that all. I mean, I believed it, but you saw it. I mean, the guy had 5 total touchdowns, 4 passing, 1 running, 5 touchdowns here, and he had 5 incompletions against a pretty good Ole Miss defense. Not great against the run, but they're not the Ole Miss defenses of old. We told you that. I don't even think we're going to have time to get into it. I wanted to rip Miami because I told you every week or the last couple weeks that go ahead and cancel Miami's rest of the season. We'll see them in December because they're going to cakewalk through, and then they're going to get exposed in their first college football game and lose. Well, obviously, they're definitely going to get exposed now. They already did. I didn't think they were capable of losing to Louisville, but you got to give Brom a lot of credit. That's why a lot of Florida fans want Brom. Because he wins games like that, and he's been consistent at Louisville. I wanted to rip Miami. I wanted to get to UCF. Right? You finally played offensively up to your standard, and West Virginia's really bad, and you beat them by 30-some points at home, and you get your first Big 12 win of the year, and the first Big 12 win in the 2.0 era of Scott Frost. But I think we've just got to focus on, we spent 30 minutes on Napier, we spent 25 on Norvell. That's what it's going to have to be today. All good. I love it because we got a lot to talk about. But I'm telling you that in 4 hours, we ought to be having the notification that Mike Norvell is out in Tallahassee. We might have to. Because this is so bad. It's
Jason,
insane.
I never got the chance because I ranted.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we only have like 2 or 3 minutes, but let me ask you something.
Yeah.
What is your reaction to Florida State over the last 20 months? Or maybe not the last 20. From week 1 to now.
Yeah, I genuinely have tried to come up with theories each and every week of how in the world this team that's lost 4 in a row could have possibly beaten Bama, who at the beginning of the year I thought was a playoff team, and now certainly I think is a playoff team. I think they're a top 5 team in the country, and their offense, if they can improve their defense, they're very similar to Georgia in this regard, which I would have never said to begin the season. But their offense, Ty Simpson is the best quarterback in college football right now. And as long as you have the best quarterback in college football, a guy who doesn't turn it over, and a guy in 3rd and 9, you can put him in any bad situation he wants, he's going to find the right play. He's going to get you in the right play, and he's going to throw a dart and probably convert it. That guy, because of how bad everybody else is, Bama, you got a really good quarterback. You got the best college quarterback there is. Like, you might win a national title. They very well could win a national title. If Bama wins a national title, and we think, holy cow, 5 months ago, a 4-8 Florida State football team without a head coach beat them on week 1. I've said it now. It's my theory now. It's going to be my theory then that Kalen DeBoer all offseason did nothing but to prepare for Georgia and all of the SEC opponents and just figured they'd just walk in to Florida State on 0 days of prep and just walk the dog, and they got caught. I don't know what else to think. How in the world could one of the worst teams in the power... Hey, Florida State is one of the worst teams in the Power 4. They're that bad. They're that bad. You lost to a backup quarterback at Stanford. You couldn't beat the backup after the starter got hurt in the second quarter, and you scored 13 points. San Jose State just scored 30. And Stanford was home, just like Florida State. They're so bad. And the fact that Bama could be a national title team and beat them. Welcome to college football again. Nobody's good. And we could have spent an hour on that. I don't like it. Sometimes I would just want to watch a really good football team play like a really good football team, and that's rarely happening in today's college football. But we've got to run. We're going to have a lot more this Friday, 9 to 10 a.m., a lot more on Georgia, a lot more UCF, a lot more on Miami, with obviously the bye week, and then we got the big one. Georgia, Florida in town in Jacksonville here in 2 weeks. Appreciate everybody hopping in the chat with us. Appreciate everybody who started their week off with us today. Handling the technical difficulties. You guys have come in droves ever since we got up on Twitter, so appreciate that. Brenton Austin show coming up in 5 minutes, 10 to 1, every weekday on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. What do we think about the Jags? They got crushed. It was 35-7. It was never close. We got dominated. Liam Cohen kind of got sunned by Sean McVay. Is that the takeaway? Is the drops the takeaway? Is the defense, kind of looking, maybe good, maybe not? Definitely not what they were in the first 5 weeks. This is a totally different football team right now than it was in the first 5 weeks. Are they able to turn that around in the bye week and get that fixed? I don't know. We'll have more on Billy Napier. Colts dominate. They look like the best team in the freaking AFC. What is happening? Broncos with a comeback of the year, and a lot more on the Jags. Appreciate everybody. We'll see you next time on Stadium Pulse on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com. Burgers or breakfast, you can get it all at Whataburger.